Okay, we're going to check the volume here before the stream starts. Okay, we're going to check the volume here before the stream. Sounds like that's working just fine. I got started just a few minutes early so I could check things out on the stream and wait for some of the people to arrive. This is Ron from, I'm cleaning my glasses, okay? I even went in the bathroom and shaved before the show, okay? I was looking kind of scruffy. When you're retired, a lot of things, you know, you just really don't do much anymore. But I do try to shave every day. In the fall, in the wintertime, if I'm out doing a lot of hiking, I'll grow somewhat of a beard, but I'm not a hairy person, so my beard's always patchy. So we're just waiting for a few of them to show up. When you get into the chat box, and let me know that you can hear me fine and everything's working okay on your end. And we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Like I said, I got started a little bit early so I could check the live stream, make sure things were stable. I don't like surprises. Tim, yeah, well, you got an electric shaver. I mean, I'm still old school, okay? I use Barbasol, aloe. I do use the Gillette safety razors because, yeah, that can be dangerous sometimes. So, anyways, thanks for joining me, Tim. You might be the only one to come on today. This is my first official live stream, and I wanted to do that at the end of my July 10,000 step challenge to, thank you, Tim, to bring up a few things. And before I get started though, I'm going to go ahead and roll some footage here that I did. And let me see if I can get this happening correctly without goofing things up. Well, good morning and welcome to my first live stream. I'm coming to you from my walking trail where I come every morning. This is July 31st, the last day of my 10,000 step a day challenge for a complete month. And in this live stream, we're going to talk about the challenge. We're going to talk about my results. But I thought I'd bring you this morning from my last walk around the track in July. And at the end of the show, I will let you know what my thoughts were about all this and what my plans are for August. Okay, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. But one additional bonus right here, those that know me know that I have a photography channel, and photography is my hobby. It's been my hobby for a long time. So today, what I decided to do, I normally do 3 laps. Today I'm going to do 4 laps. I'm going to pick up my camera out of my truck on the 4th lap and carry that with me, and I'm going to take some photographs around my walking trail for you to see. So I hope you enjoy those. Right after the photographs show here, we're going to start the live stream, so stay tuned. I'm glad y'all were here. Okay, there you go. That was a short video I did on yesterday's walk. I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I believe it was. And I decided to take a camera with me and do that walk. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, appreciate that. And you know, it's really funny. I've been walking the same place for the last month. Now, it is has ballpark, you know, baseball diamonds. There's a dog park. There's a long trail. It goes all the way around the perimeter of this place, which is ideal for me because I don't like to do short little loops. I like to do long loops. So the entire loop, thank you there, Kath. The entire loop is 1.4 miles, okay? Now, when I first did this, I had no idea how far it was, so I had to use an app. And when I started using the app, and I'm going to show you that app in just a little bit, it's called Map My Walk. It was telling me that it was 1.4 miles, but I was looking at the Apple Health app alongside of it, and it was always, the entire walk would always come up about 3/4 of a mile short in Apple Health, okay? And I really didn't understand why the difference was. So I was concerned that maybe the app I was using, Walk My Map, was incorrect. Okay. So I broke out my old school Garmin GPS, my Montana 600 that I use for hiking, hung it on my neck and walked with it. Well, it was indeed 1.4 miles. Okay. I was really getting kind of irritated at the Apple Health app. Since it's running all the time on my phone. I have an iPhone 16 Pro Max and it was on there. It runs all the time. And I didn't realize that maybe the Apple Health app was not accounting for something like my stride, okay? So, you know, it adjusts itself automatically, and I'm not too sure how it does that. So I don't carry my phone on my belt or on my waist when I'm hiking. I actually have a satchel. Let me go get it real quick and I'll show it to you. So I have this small satchel, okay, and all I do is I put my bottle of water in there, my car keys, and my iPhone sits in this pocket, and then sometimes I take my AirPods with me if I want to listen to some music, because I do have Sirius XM, the app and the mobile. So I just kind of put it over my neck like this, and I walk with it, okay? And I'm able to carry the things I need with me. Yeah, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So the phone sits in the front pouch of that, and I thought, well, maybe the Apple Health app was messed up. I didn't know. Okay, that's why I took my GPS and did it. So the loop is indeed 1.4 miles, which I really like. Okay, I have walked it every day this month except 3 days. I missed 3 days out of the month. Okay, for life, just life happens, and you just can't, you know, go walking. Tomorrow is one of those days. I've got to be over in the next county over for the fair. Our photography club sets up the photography display for the amateurs, bringing their photographs in to display, and they get prizes and all that. So we volunteer to do that. So tomorrow is going to be a no walking day for the track. But walking this track every single day, I know where the mile points are. I know when I leave my truck and I start going a certain direction, and I've walked it forwards and backwards just to mix it up a little bit. I know where the mile markers are. The app, the Map My Walk app, talks to me. It tells me every time I get to a mile marker, okay? Now, I've used this app, and I've used it several times, hiking and what have you. It's a really good app, and it's free. Okay, they do pop up with an advertisement wanting you to buy it, you know, and I just click the little X on top and it goes away, okay? But anyways, I was a little concerned about the accuracy of things. So the Map My Walk will show that I burnt like on a 5 mile walk, like 1,300 calories. Well, that's amazing, but it's not true. I read on the internet about a week ago that somebody said that those walking apps overstate the calorie burn. They say that most of them is only 20 or 25% calorie burn for what that is, okay? So I started looking back at the Apple Health app again, and I noticed, I bought a pedometer, okay, to put on my waist, and it's very accurate. I noticed that the pedometer told me how many steps I did. It was almost matching exactly the Apple Health app. And in the Apple Health app, it would show I burnt like 430 calories when the Map My Walk said I did about 1,300 calories. I thought, okay, the Apple Health app knows things about me because I put them in there. It knows my weight, it knows my height, it knows my stride. The Map My Walk does not. The only thing it knows is you've walked a certain distance and it's estimating how many calories you burn. So Map My Walk is about to go away, okay? I'm not going to use it anymore. I was mainly using it to keep up with how many miles I walk, because I like to think of my walks in miles and not necessarily in steps, okay? And, you know, so, you know, you can have too many gadgets. So I do have a pedometer, and I don't even look at the pedometer. I put it on, and I start walking, and when I get done, I take it off and look at it. I don't even look at it while I'm walking. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit using the Map My Walk app, but I did want to show it to you real quick. So let me pull it up here on my phone so you can see what I'm talking about. First off, I'm going to show you how to get it, okay? What you want to do and I'm an iPhone person, so you got to go to the App Store, okay? And then you just do a search, pull up the search bar and type in Map My, and right there it is, the second one down. And when you click on that, it's this one right here with the little purple man, okay, or person. Map My Walk walking tracker. Now you can get that and download that and try it if you want to, okay? It's free. It does pop up every once in a while. I want you to buy it. In addition to that, if you're a biking person, which I am, okay, they also have a Map My Ride, okay? And they work together. Map My Ride is a little different. It's got a little orange bicycle on there. And the two apps kind of talk to each other. So if I go over here, and I've already got them downloaded on my phone, so I'm just going to cancel out. I just wanted to show you what they look like so you can do that if you wanted to download that yourself, okay? So what I'm going to do is go over here and show you, if I go into Map My Walk, this is what I see in the morning when I want to start my workout. And if I hit the start workout button, I'm going to do that one time. And I don't know if you heard that or not, but it talks to you. It says start workout, okay? And you start walking, and you see the durations counting already. Of course, I'm not walking anywhere. And these are the things it gives you at every mile. It tells you how many miles you walked. It tells you your pace, which I think is kind of important when you're starting out. It also gives you your split pace between apps, and it shows you approximate calories. Well, if you look, the calories are already counting up, okay? And I'm not doing nothing. So there you go. You know, it's kind of crazy. But when you're finished, okay, with your walk, you can go in here and hit pause, and then you can hold down this button that says hold to finish, and then you can save your walk right here, okay? And I rename mine by just typing in a new name. We're not going to really save that walk, you know. Well, I will for now, but, you know, it doesn't count. So the Map My Walk was good to let me know that how many miles I was. But you know what? That's not important anymore. You know, I know how many miles I'm walking. I know how far I need to go because I'm going to the same place all the time. Now, if I go to a new place, probably what I'm going to do to see how far I need to go in my mind, you know, how many laps I need to make, whatever, I'll probably take my Garmin GPS. If you don't have one of those, take Map My Walk, okay, and let it tell you how far your circuit is, okay, and then you'll know, okay. So I just kind of wanted to show you that app a little bit, all right. And while we're talking about it, let's go ahead and pull up the Apple Health app. If you've got an Apple phone, it's on your phone most likely. Now, what I've done here is I pinned the most popular things at the top of the screen. And you can go under the edit button, which is right to the right over here, this right under my picture, and you hit that, and you can see the items I pinned at the top. These are the items that are important to me, okay? So if I go back over here, this is today's activities. It says I've walked 12,007 steps today. My morning walk was about 11,300. It says I've done 4.3 miles. I don't believe it, because I know I did more than that, okay? I know I did about 5.8 maybe at the track, not counting what I've walked around here. It shows you my weight, because I put that in. You can change that too. So that weight, if you just tap on weight, you can go in here, and at the very top right-hand corner, it says add data. You can add your weight. There's today's date. And I did weigh in this morning, and my weight this morning was 229, okay? And as you can see, it has a trending thing there, okay? But if you go back, it now knows how much you weigh. I'm assuming the Apple app works in that fashion where it knows how much you weigh and what your stride is, and it kind of helps you. The 465 calories, I think I believe that, okay? I think I want to believe that. So since I got my phone with me anyways, the Apple Health app is running all the time anyhow. I'm just going to start using my phone to keep track of my stuff and my pedometer. I'm not going to worry too much about my walk. But if you're starting out and you need to know how many miles you're going, you know. So here's the thing. People talk about steps. They talk about miles, okay? For me, and I don't know, it might be different for most people. Can I stop for a minute and check on my comments? Hold on a minute. Lisa says, I have a crossbody that I use too when I walk. Cool. Just wish I could find one still on the small side with an outside spot for a water bottle. Lisa, check, if you live in the United States, check Walmart over in the backpacking section. I was there yesterday, and I noticed at the top row where the backpacks are, the hiking backpacks, they had a sling, like a sling bag deal. You might want to check and see if that would work for you. If it's got a long strap, you could do that with. That's one thing I like about mine, is I can put the water bottle right in here, and it stays in there. It's got like a separate divided pocket right there. Let me show you. See in there? It's got like a little pocket. So I put my water there so it stays upright, because I do open my water bottle before I leave the house and put in a package of electrolytes. And while we're on that subject, I did not buy the stuff from Amazon that was mentioned to me. I did find some great value electrolytes at Walmart. I'm not too sure if that's healthy for me or not. But it does have ingredients in it, potassium, what have you. It is no sugar, but what it has in there is sucralose, which is Splenda, okay? And I'm not really keen on Splenda. I wish they made one that had stevia in it, okay? I'm trying to stay away from table sugar right now. Anyways, let's see. Kath says, too many gadgets. You can never have too many gadgets. Well, that's the truth, okay? But here's the thing, and I'm going to give you 5 of my walking tips, okay, before we get into the progress I made this month. And one of those has to do with having too many gadgets, okay? So number 1, the time of day to me is important in a way. And now I did talk to a friend of mine, who's big on health, nutrition, and bodybuilding and all that. Yeah, check them out. Oh, you live in Maryville. Okay, well, you got one over there. So Maryville, for y'all don't know, Lisa is about an hour away from me, and Tim is about 2 hours away from me. And anyways, my first tip is this: walk in the morning if you can. Several things come to mind. Number 1 is cooler. If you go really early, you might have the place to yourself, which is another cool thing, okay? And you wake up in the morning, your body has recovered from the previous day, you're rested, and you're ready to go. You're ready to start your day. So why not start your day with a walk, okay? I drink 8 ounces of water when I wake up, and before my walk, I'll have about a half a cup of coffee, because that's really all the time I got. When I was working, I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. After I retired, I didn't set my alarm clock, and I was dragging out till about 6 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm back to waking up at about 4:30 in the morning so I can go do my walk early, okay? Which is good. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So, yeah, do your walks in the morning, okay? I think that's a better time than trying to work them in. Now, your lifestyle might dictate that. I'm retired. I don't have a schedule, okay? If I was still working, I would have trouble getting a 2-hour or hour and a half walk in before work if I had to drive somewhere. So I do drive to this place I go to. It's probably about a 10-minute drive from my house, which I don't mind. So it's a nice place. It's a nice place to walk. Obviously, you've seen it from the pictures I took, the photographs I took, and you've watched my videos from there, so you can see that it's a nice place. Make sure, now tip number 2, make sure you take a bottle of water. And one of my viewers on here, oh, sorry. Here I am. Thank you, Kath. I didn't intend to do that. One of my viewers on here had recommended the electrolytes right after I started walking if you feel fatigued, okay? And anyways, take a bottle of water with you, put your electrolytes in it before you leave the house, and about once a mile, I will take about 3 gulps out of the bottle. So what I try to do is make that 16-ounce bottle last me for the 4.5, 5 mile walk, okay? I know it's probably not enough water, but when I get home, I drink some more water. So as long as I'm staying hydrated during the walk, I'm not really sweating a whole lot that early in the morning. I don't really start sweating until I get to about the 2nd mile, okay? The 1st mile is kind of the warm-up deal, okay? And here's something I learned from my friend, okay? We were talking about walking versus jogging, okay? And he said, you know the difference between walking and jogging into doing what you're doing? I said, no, what is it? The only thing jogging is doing is you're getting it done quicker, okay? But at your age, he said, you risk injury on everything. He says, so walking is better for you, okay? A lot of younger people like to jog and things like that, you know. And I see that sometimes at the place I go. I see a few joggers, not many. There's a fire department right across the street from the track there, from the park, and I'll see a fireman come through over there every once in a while. But most of the people I see are walkers, okay, in the morning, okay? So, yeah, he was saying that walking outside is better also than going to a gym. And the reason why is you're in an AC environment. And he said, when you're walking outside in nature, first off, you're getting fresh air, okay? You feel better because you're out in nature, you're out on your own, you're walking. And he says your body will heat up more, and your body will try to regulate your temperature while you're walking, and thus you'll burn more calories on the outside than going to a gym. Made a lot of sense to me. Can you imagine going to a gym and staying on a treadmill at a 3-mile-an-hour walk to get your 10,000 steps in? You would be on that treadmill for over an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. So yeah, that to me is not a whole lot of fun, okay, being in a gym to do that, okay? So that's why I like walking outside. He had some pretty good advice there. One more thing he did mention too, was talking about weight. And I know a lot of people on here have a lot of different opinions about that, dieting and what have you, and what kind of food you eat. But what he did say is you need to reduce your calorie intake, okay, along with the walking to lose any weight, okay? And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit, okay? But he did bring that up, and, you know, said get rid of all the crap, okay, in your house that has no nutritional value at all, okay? Yeah, I get it, all right? When I retired, I was a grazer. If you know what a grazer is, raise your hand. Okay, I was one of those. I would graze constantly. So, and you know the 5th thing I want to tell you, you're going to meet new people, okay? There are 2 people that walk on the track, okay? One of them is she's an 82-year-old Let me show you a picture of her real quick, okay? Hold on a second. This is Gloria. Gloria is an 82-year-old Italian lady, okay? I made it a point to meet her. I see her almost daily, okay? She usually starts her walk near the end of my walk, and we usually pass somewhere along the lines, okay? And she will ask me how many laps, okay? And over the course of the last few weeks, she has found out some tidbits about me, and I found out some tidbits about her. So meeting new people is really cool, okay? She's 82 years old. She's got 2 sons, and I would assume she's Italian. I would assume that she lives on her own nearby because I never see her drive a car. There is a housing place, subsidized, it's like a senior housing place not far from the park, so I have a feeling she might live right over there somewhere. Anyway, she's really nice. She keeps her head down when she walks, but you know, if I'm coming up behind her, I'll let her know that I'm passing her, and she's really a sweet lady. There's another guy there, and he's been walking there longer than me. I think he said about 8 or 9 months, and he's lost something like 30 pounds, he said. His name is Paul, and I introduced myself one day to him, and we got to see him wildlife when we were walking around the track. And there's Brian. Hey, Brian. Brian Harper's in the house. Anyways, you get to see these same people every day, so you can't help to stop and introduce yourself, okay? And I'm that kind of guy. Anyways, I met Paul, and Paul was telling me he works, so he comes. I don't think he walks as much as I do. I don't think he does 5 miles, but he walks a few laps, and I'll see him almost every day. He wasn't there today, and I don't know why. It was Friday. He does go to the gym, he says, every once in a while. So, yeah. Anyways, you're going to meet new people, okay? So if you're out walking in the same area, say hi to people. There were some new people on the track this morning, and I see new people all the time. There's one group of ladies, there's 3 of them. It's almost like it's a mother, an adult daughter, and her daughter, and they walk 4 dogs, okay? And one day I said, what are y'all, professional dog walkers? But the daughter, the mother, the daughter, the first daughter, she has a uniform on. She works at one of these healthcare places in town. I recognize the name on her uniform. So they're there early in the morning walking dogs. And I don't know if they're their dogs or whose dogs they are. But this morning, the mother wasn't with them. It was just the mother, the daughter, and the daughter of the daughter, okay? They had 2 dogs with them. So I'm not too sure what their deal is. And you see some other things out there too, okay? Sometimes I just keep my head straight ahead and keep walking. I don't even say anything. I just go, okay? There were some people there this morning I'd never seen before. Anyways, it's really a nice place. And, you know, one of the other things I wanted to talk about, and it's not really a tip, but scheduling your walk, okay? And we're talking about retirement versus working, okay? I think you have to carve out a piece of your day. I think you have to carve out a piece of your day to do this, okay? I'm retired. It's really easy for me to carve out a piece of day. If I go early in the morning, my wife's still sleeping, I'm not missed, okay? I'm not missed at all. And if I'm there for an hour and a half, or if I'm there for 2 hours, it don't matter, okay? I'm there. The last 2 days, I went and walked extra. I actually pushed myself to go from 5 miles a day to 6 miles a day to see how I reacted to that. I've been walking 5 miles a day for so long, my body has gotten kind of used to it, okay? And I pushed myself yesterday and today. Well, today, at the end of the walk, I was 5.8 miles, I think. I didn't quite make it to 6 miles. I felt more fatigued, okay? So I'm not too sure pushing yourself beyond the 10,000 steps is a good idea, especially at this age. But, you know, life gets busy, and you have to carve out time to do your walks. And, life does happen. You're going to miss your walks every once in a while. I missed 3 this month, and they were just certain things. One, I actually had a 4th day that was way below 10,000, like 8,000, but I was limited in time on how much time I could walk. So don't beat yourself up over it, okay? Now, the big announcement is weight loss, okay? And I'm going to show you a chart here that I've done. Now call me Mr. Detail or whatever, okay? But I'm going to show you something right now. This is a, let me get situated here. This is a chart that I set up. Let's see, how do I get that to move? Pull there we go. So when I started doing this walk, okay, I'm going to pull this up so you can see it. I set up a spreadsheet. I'm that kind of guy. I'm a spreadsheet kind of guy. I just do spreadsheets, okay? And I like to keep track of things. And I did this for the first month. And I'm still going to do it for August. I've already set up the August spreadsheet. But I got into a great amount of detail here. If you'll notice, the first day was June the 30th. And I started out with 5 miles. And according to the Walk My app, it said I was burning 1,300 calories. I'll show you how I solved that problem. Other steps was other steps in the day. So this column, the first column where it says steps walking, that's how much I got on the track, okay, walking my morning walk. The total steps was total steps for the day, and it subtracted it, and it told me how many other steps I have. So as you can see, I made some notes here. This day right here, July the 3rd, you'll notice I only did 8,754 steps on my walk. That's because I had to be down in Chattanooga to interview David Sailors, the Georgia photographer, and his wife. So I was in a time crunch, okay? So I could only do a little bit. And notice I only walked 3 miles that day. And I did some e-biking in Chattanooga that day, so I was able to crunch out a few more steps out of that. But you go on down the list and you'll notice, okay, how things are. Now, when I started on June the 30th, I was 237 pounds, okay? And I kind of kept track of my weight on a daily basis. If you'll notice right here in the middle, it kind of slowed down a little bit, okay? And right in that area, I was still eating 3 meals a day. I am down to eating just 2 meals a day. I eat breakfast at 9 o'clock, and I try to eat supper around 4 o'clock, okay? And I don't do anything else in the evening unless it's a cup of yogurt, okay? Anyways, we'll scroll on down. You'll notice that my first no walking day was July the 20th. And that's the reason for that is I had to spend some time dealing with my parents and their issues, okay? So I could not go walking that day. And then there's another no walking day on the 24th of July. Let me back up a second. The no walking on the 20th was kayaking. I went kayaking. And that video comes out tomorrow on my photography channel. And if you want to know where the photography channel is, go into the description of this video and there's a link, okay? If you want to subscribe to that channel, come on over, okay? I do different things over there. So July the 20th was my kayaking. July 24th was the parents, okay? I had to deal with a bunch of stuff at their house and with them. If you'll notice, I had some really big days in here. On July the 15th, okay, I had 17,000 steps that day. And there's several days where I did more steps, okay, than 10,000. So you can kind of see, 5 miles is what I've been doing. A few 5.5 mile days, just depending on how I felt that day. So I was just keeping track of things. Yesterday I did not walk because I went down to the Hiawassee Wildlife, or was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. I did not walk because I went down to Hiawassee Wildlife Refuge to do some photography. But I did get 3,700 steps in. So, yeah, so the totals are this. For the month, the walking steps is 315,110. I walked 147 miles, and according to the Map My Walk app, I burnt 37,000 calories, but we know that's not true. I took 20% of that. 20% of that is 7,531 calories burnt. Now, from what I understand from my friend, and y'all can rebuttal this, but a pound of fat, okay, in your body, not in the frying pan. A pound of fat's a pound of fat, but a pound of fat is equal to 3,500 calories, okay? So, you know, if you don't do anything else, and you look at this chart right here, you know, I burnt about 2 pounds of fat off my body. Now, I did more than that because I've reduced my calorie intake by getting rid of junk food, okay? And the way I eat. I've changed the way I eat. And I'm not on any specific diet, okay? And we can talk about that in a little bit. So that's just an estimation. And total steps for the entire month, everything was 347,315 steps. That's a lot of damn steps, okay? Today I weighed myself. Yesterday was 230. I was below 230 this morning. I was like 228. 229.6 or something like that. My scale is real precise. You know, one thing I've learned to do is I weigh myself wearing the same clothing article at the same time every day. And, you know, the weight is not important to me, although it has been a goal for me. I wanted to drop some weight, okay? And I'm very encouraged by the... what is it? I've dropped about 8 pounds. Let's call it 7. Let's be real. Let's say I've dropped 7 pounds this month, which I am happy with, okay? I hope that continues into the next month, that I drop another 7 pounds in August, get myself down in the 220 range, the low 220s. That's what I'm hoping for, okay? I wear a size 38 pants, not very comfortably, okay, recently. I'm hoping to get back to a size 36, okay? I'm a tall person, so, you know. Let me catch up on the comments real quick. Kath asked me, do you do any stretching? I have been remiss in the stretching department. I don't know if I do need to do stretching when I'm walking or not. I'm not really doing any high impact. You can tell me what you think about that. Lisa said, until the weather gets cooler, I'm a dedicated mall walker since I'm on some medication where I have to avoid too much sun and heat. Our mall opens an hour before the storm for walkers. That's cool, okay? That's cool, Lisa. I'm also on medication that I'm not supposed to be out in the sun, and it's for my Crohn's disease, but I cover up usually. But in the morning when I'm walking, there's no sun, okay? It hasn't come out yet. I'm done by 7:30 and back home by 7:45, you know, when I get done. Thanks for the congrats on the weight loss, Kath. But anyways, yeah, so that is what I do, like, you know, call myself an overachiever, you know, doing a spreadsheet, whatever you want to call me. Let me get my screen straightened up here. I kind of messed up a little bit. There we go. Anyways, yeah. So that's how I keep track of things, okay? So what else I want to talk about? Let's see. I'm going to continue into August with the walking. I'm not going to increase. I'm going to stay at 5 miles, which is about 10,300 steps, more or less. I feel like I'm really comfortable there, and I'm not getting too tired out. I will continue to chart my progress into August and see how it goes, and I'll give periodic updates on the channel on that. But you know, the eating part, I want to talk about the eating part for a minute. I'm going to tell you the bad foods I used to eat, okay? And there's a whole list of them, okay? I had an addiction, let's just call it an addiction, to Cheez-It Grooves, okay? I don't even have a box of those here that I can see how many calories I'm saving every week, but I would go through a box of Cheez-It Grooves, the family size, not the small size, the family size, in a week, okay? I'd be sitting in my chair watching YouTube, whatever, and I'd just go get a Tupperware bowl and fill it up and come back to the chair and just eat, you know. I had an addiction to Cheetos, okay, and I like the crunchy Cheetos, but then I found that I actually like the Cheeto Puffs better than the crunchies. I would go through a bag of those a week. And I'm not talking about the regular size. I'm talking about the party size, okay? Which is very expensive. You know, have you checked a bag of chips or let's call it crap food at the store lately? I think those Cheetos were costing me $6 a bag. Let's add this up. The Z8 was about $5.75 a box, okay? And then I just love Oreo cookies, okay? Don't matter, vanilla, chocolate, either one, it don't matter. I get the family size. I get the family size of that, okay? And I would eat those out all week long. And I can maybe make a box of a package of those last for 2 weeks, okay? But they were about $5 a package, okay, for those. And let's see, what other bad things was I eating? Frosted Flakes, that was another thing. I don't even know what that was. Oh gosh, you know, if my wife had some Lay's potato chips on her side of the cupboard, I'd snatch some of them. So I would just graze constantly. Now, when I was working, it was no different. I was terrible. I ate the same thing for lunch every day. It was a sandwich, some kind of chips, a package of crackers, okay, cheese crackers or peanut butter crackers or whatever. And I might get me a Little Debbie snack cake and throw in there. And then I would probably get me a can of soda. I don't even drink sodas now, okay? Strictly water, and I do have my coffee. So I've made some changes to my diet. I've gotten rid of some things. Now, I don't know how many calories per week I'm saving, but I'm saving some, okay? Besides the $20 or $25 a week on my grocery bill, because I'm not buying those items anymore. But I'm taking that $25 and I'm buying different food, okay? And I'm trying to get better at that. So, yeah, getting rid of that processed food, I think, is really important. I'm not a big dieter. You know, I've had a few of you mention diets to me. I've heard about the keto diet, the carnivore diet, or what have you. I'm just trying this on my own and losing the weight gradually and seeing how it goes, okay? I think the exercise and the walking is key to this. And if I do good in August and I feel good about it by September, I may go ahead and get a gym membership at Planet Fitness here in town and start doing a little bit of resistance weight training a couple days a week, and maybe not walking 5 days a week. Just walk like 3 days a week and go to the gym a couple days a week, because I do want to get some muscle strength back. I know I've lost a lot of muscle since I retired, and I think it's a real thing with retirees. You sit around the house a lot and you don't use your muscles. Hey Evie, how are you? Thank you for coming. You don't use your muscles and they start going away, okay? I mean, I'm not even using my upper body muscles, but from walking, my arms moving, when I get home, I can feel it. I can feel it in my arms where I had been moving. So you are getting some exercise when you're walking in your upper body and stuff. But I would like to start doing that after the end of August, okay? I want to lose a few more pounds. Anyways, so I feel really good about that. But getting rid of that crap food is important, okay? I think, with all that, So what am I eating different in my diet? Okay, so in the morning I'm trying to eat eggs and bacon. So here's a typical breakfast for me. I'll eat 2 or 3 scrambled eggs, and how I prepare my eggs is I add a little milk to them and a little bit of cheese. It might be mozzarella cheese or it might be cheddar cheese. Now I know I'm buying the packaged cheese, and somebody's mentioned to me before there's some crap in there that I haven't really paid attention to. Well, I haven't got to the point where I'm grating my own hard cheese, okay? Which I could do, okay? But I just haven't got to that point yet. I will put a tablespoon. I'll cook the bacon. I have 2 slices of bacon. I cut my bacon pound packages in half before I freeze them. So I just take out a half a package at a time, and I'll have 4 of those, which is equal to 2 strips of bacon. I'll cook the bacon in a small frying pan. I'll wipe it out when I'm done a little bit, get a little bit of the grease out of there. I'll put the tablespoon pat of butter in there, let it melt down, and then I'll add my eggs and I'll scramble them up. Okay, so I'm getting a little butter in there. Now, in addition to that, okay, I will have a banana, okay, with that. And on occasion, I will have toast. Now, we don't buy we don't buy commercial bread toast, but we buy the bread that Walmart makes. And I did read the label on there. So we like the sliced Italian bread at Walmart. It's really good. And I think it causes a lot less problems, okay? It doesn't give you this weird feeling, this bloated feeling. But I will have toast on occasion. I did not have toast yesterday. I did have a banana, okay? And, and I'll have a protein shake. So I use a protein mix. I've showed it. I think I've showed it on the channel. I'm not going to go get it right now, but I buy it at Walmart. It was recommended by my dietitian at the gastro office for my Crohn's disease. It has no sugar in it. It's about 120 calories. You mix it with milk in a shaker bottle, and they come in vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. I'm happen to be working on strawberry right now, and I got a vanilla in there I haven't opened yet. I prefer the vanilla because I do sprinkle that protein powder. Well, I'll tell you that in a minute. So I'll have that. That'll be my breakfast. The eggs, the bacon, sometimes toast, and the protein shake, and a banana. That's it. About 8:30 or 9 o'clock, I have that. I don't eat anything else until about 3 o'clock. Now, I have cheated a little bit. I have had spaghetti with my wife. There's a lot of carbs in spaghetti and noodles, okay? I'm sure there's probably some alternative noodles I could get to. Hey, y'all say hi to Evie. She's just newly retired also. I think she's about 3 or 4 months into it. She has a channel on her own. You get a chance to go check her out. I know there's probably some noodles that you could get that are probably no carbs in them. I've even looked at I haven't looked at the package. We have some noodles in there that are, what do they call it? Gluten-free, made out of brown rice. I'm not even sure if brown rice is good for you or not, okay? But I'll check that out. My wife's Italian. She does like spaghetti about once a week. So usually I'll just eat something else. Or if I do have a spaghetti, I'll have a chicken breast that I make. And then I'll have a little side dish of the spaghetti with the sauce. Now you're cheating a little bit, but it doesn't hurt, okay? You're not on a strict diet. I'm not anyways. So, for supper, recently what I've been trying to do is have protein. So I usually buy a package of chicken breast at Walmart, and the damn things are so big, there'd be like 5 in a pack. Well, I can cut them down and get 9 or 10 meals out of one. And I'll freeze them in a baggie on their own. And then I'll just pull them out of the refrigerator. I try to remember the day before I need one because I like to marinate and pound them a little bit so they're tender. And then what I'll do is I'll put them in the air fryer. I got a little air fryer I'll put them in, and I'll put them in there and cook them in the air fryer for about 25 minutes or so, turning them over and what have you. But I always check the temperature with my thermometer. So I'll have a chicken breast. So like last night for supper, I forget what she had. I think it was a bowl of ice cream. Okay. But last night for supper, I had a chicken breast. I had some cottage cheese and applesauce, and that's 4% milk fat cottage cheese, applesauce, and then I had carrots, some baby carrots that I cooked myself, okay, in the pan. I'm trying to eat more fresh vegetables. So, the carrots was a start this week. I bought a package of baby carrots, and we had some a couple nights ago, and I had some with my meal last night. So, chicken breast, applesauce, cottage cheese, and carrots. That was my supper. And I think for a snack, I had a yogurt cup. I get the Dannon Light and Lively. It's 80 calories. Sometimes I get the strawberry shortcake flavor or the blueberry flavor. I prefer the strawberry shortcake flavor because it doesn't have any fruit per se in it. It's just, the flavor. So it's pretty healthy for you as far as I know. So I'll have that as a snack, okay? I never heard of that. Palmini Hearts of Palm are an excellent alternative to. I'm gonna have to write that down, Ann. Ann sent me actually made a comment on one of my videos the other day and had some excellent ideas for me to try, and I made a screen copy of those on my phone So when I go to Walmart, when I go grocery shopping, hearts of palm. She mentioned the almond butter instead of peanut butter. Okay, so that's something I'm going to check out. And the problem is for me is, you know, am I going to like it? Is it going to taste good? Okay, I don't know until I try it. I will definitely compare the almond butter to the peanut butter ingredients and see what that is. You know, I'm not a big peanut butter eater, but you know, I'll eat peanut butter probably, I don't know, once a day. One of my favorite snacks in the evening time, in addition to, or as an alternative to yogurt, is peanut butter on graham crackers. Now you might think that's weird. It's no weirder than peanut butter banana sandwich, okay? But my nutritionist said that if you're feeling the urge to graze, to have something satisfying like that, okay, which would be graham crackers and some peanut butter on them, okay? Again, that's just what my nutritionist recommends. She wasn't into weight loss, okay? She was into more healthy type eating for me, okay? I would tend to eat peanut butter on saltines myself, but saltines is a wheat product, so I don't know what the carbs this is now. I gotta get something to drink. Sorry, I don't have my new Retired Me mug because it's in the dishwasher. Tim. So anyways, that's where I'm at with my eating. I got a lot of work to do on that. I got a long ways to go, and we'll see how it is. Now, I tell you something. I was talking to my wife today, and she asked me today, because she knew it was the last day of the month, did I weigh in? And I told her yes, and she asked me how much weight I lost, and I told her that I'd lost between 7 and 8 pounds, honestly, okay? It's not water weight or any of that. It's real weight loss now. And she said, okay. She said, so how do you feel about that? I said, I feel pretty good about it. And I said, do you notice, and I took my shirt off for her. I said, do you notice any difference in me? And she said she did, okay, that she noticed it. And what I should have done, and I didn't do it, I should have stood in the mirror in the bathroom and took a picture of myself and compared it. I think I will for this month, okay? But I have noticed a lot has dropped, okay, in my face and starting up here in my upper body. And, you know, if you're a 67 or 68-year-old man, you know the first place the weight goes on is in the belly and the abdomen. So, you know, my belly was getting pretty big, a lot bigger than I wanted it to be. So, anyways, yeah. So, you know, the weight loss is coming along pretty good. Anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about on the 10,000 step challenge side of this. I am going to touch base now on my parents, okay? I'm going to catch up on this live stream, what's going on with them, okay? We closed on their condominium last Monday, okay? And that went very smoothly. And the transaction is finished. They are officially out of that condominium, waiting for the arrival of their mobile home here on my property. They are living a little closer to me now, just up the road in a place called Fairfield Glade in a 2-story apartment. It has steps in it, which my mom is not used to. And she does not get around very well. She had a hip replacement surgery that did not go well for her. And she's in pain all the time, and you know, she could fall at any minute, okay, because it's not working right for her. But there's nothing more they can do for her. She has bad bones. I don't know if she got osteoporosis or what the deal is, and I thought she was a little bit old when they did it. She was about 84 or 85 when they did the hip replacement. I was really surprised they did it. Anyways, that transaction went over pretty good. We had a little bit of a snafu with the movers, okay. The movers were supposed to show up last Saturday morning and move the furniture. They did. They showed up. It was 2 guys in a pickup truck. And now they were charging $70 an hour. And when I said, hey guys, I said, are you guys it? Yeah, why? We were just told you just had a few things. I said, no, we got a house full of furniture here that needs to be moved. I said, y'all need a truck. Oh, wow, we didn't know that. So they called this guy that was supposed to do it. My dad had arranged all this, okay, and it wasn't really thought of very, very well. And when it boiled down to is they couldn't do it. because we didn't want them doing it in pickup truck because it would have took twice as long or 4 times as long to do it in the pickup truck. And they probably, would have charged us $400 or $500 because of the time. So they left. We didn't have anybody. So Saturday evening, I called. I was trying to find somebody on my end. That's a big mistake. Don't ever assume that somebody you're trying to help is doing nothing. Okay, I hate to do double work. I was calling around. They had already made arrangements. He got 2 of his old fart golfing buddies. Okay, older than me. All right, older than me and more broke down than me. And they were coming over Sunday morning, and they were gonna move the furniture with the guy's pickup truck and a trailer. I went, oh my Lord. So Sunday morning, I went on my walk, and I come home, took a shower, grabbed me a quick bite. I think I just had a protein shake and took off, went to their house. They were already there, and they'd already had about 3 or 4 pieces of furniture out of the house. Now, one of his golfing buddies has a bad back. He had no business lifting this crap, okay? And I went over there, and he yelled out, "We got help!" So me and the other guy, who was in a lot better shape than the other guy, okay, golfer number 2, we got the furniture loaded on the trailer. We took it up to the storage unit. We unloaded it, and we did it all in about 3 or 4 hours, okay? And we saved that money, okay? So they were able to get the furniture out last Sunday before the closing on Monday, because I told them, I said, guys, when we go to the closing table, okay, I had to go with them because I was on the deed. When we go to the closing table, we need to have the keys to the house, and we need to hand them to the attorney so he can pass them off to the seller. Because if you ever close on a piece of property, you know the sellers and the buyers are not sitting in the room at the same time during this transaction, okay? They do them separately for privacy reasons. So that's what happened, okay? And then I loaded them in my car after the closing on Monday, and we went to all the utility places in town, turned off all the utilities, went to the insurance place and cut the insurance off on the condo, took care of all that business. And then Wednesday, that's why I didn't walk Wednesday, the 20th, whatever day that was, 24th, I forget. I had to take them 35 miles to Cookeville to the Social Security office, okay, to get their address changed. Now, we could have done it online, but I'd already been through a bunch of phone calls with credit card companies and insurance companies and all that. I felt it was easier just to drive over to the Social Security office and sit in front of somebody and do the address change. So that was it. All the address changes have been done. We put it in at the post office just in case we missed something. They're quietly living the next 2 weeks, I hope, up at the condo or the apartment they rented until the mobile home gets to the property. I don't expect the mobile home to arrive for at least the end of August, okay? I think it's going to take that long to get here and get set up. And then there's a whole bunch of work to do after that, okay? There's decks to be built with roofs over them, and, there's just all kinds of stuff that has to be done. So I expect I'm going to start to become very busy here in about a month, okay? I have some vacations planned for the fall. I'm going ahead with those, okay? I'm not staying around. If the trailer's here and they can get in and out of the trailer off of a deck or whatever they build, then that's fine. They have hired a guy to build the decks. He's a local builder here, but he doesn't have anybody to help him. So I'm probably going to be his helper. I do have experience in this. I used to do construction a long time ago, home remodels. I've even built a few new homes myself, did some spec houses down here on the farm for my parents to sell. So I do have experience with that. But because if you watch my declutter videos, I don't have a lot of them tools anymore because I've decluttered my basement, okay? So I think I have a skill saw and maybe a couple hammers, and I don't even have a tool belt anymore, okay, to carry my stuff around. So, hey, go watch one of them declutter videos. You'll get inspired, okay? And I was just down there today, and I said to myself, geez, Ron, you need to come back here and declutter this basement again. Even though I hauled a bunch of crap out of there, it still looks like it's cluttered. So I'm going to have to work on it this winter and declutter it some more. Anyways, that is where we are with the parents, okay? things are kind of leveled out right now, and I'm really happy about that because the last couple of weeks have been really stressful for me. Well, actually the last couple of months, but the last couple of weeks with the selling of their condo and stuff, it's been really stressful with me. So listen, we've been on here for a little over an hour, and I really appreciate all the comments on here. Let's see what we got here. Lisa Evie says she found a crossbody not too large with a water bottle holder. Where at, Evie? She might be able to tell Lisa something here. But anyways, I appreciate y'all coming and joining me for my first live stream. And everybody that's still here, you know, Brian, shout out to Brian Harder. Check out his channel. The name of his channel is Brian Harder. He's just starting out, you know, he's trying to find himself, and he's doing a really good job of it. So he needs some encouragement. He needs some subscribers too. Yeah, we'll give Evie a chance to answer Lisa here on this crossbody thing. You know what I like about mine, Lisa, is it's adjustable. The straps are adjustable, so you can shorten it up a little bit. I've had this for a long time. This is an old hunting pouch, and it was just around here, and it expands out pretty much, but it mostly lays flat against your body when you got stuff in there. Now, when I walk, I don't carry my wallet with me or my house keys. I take my truck key off of the carabiner and throw it in that bag, and I leave the wallet locked in the truck in the console. The only thing I got with me is my phone. Okay, and it fits. Okay, I'll show you. Well, I can't. Yeah, I guess I can show you. It fits. Let me unhook it here. You know, iPhone 16 Pro Max with a OtterBox on it, Defender, and it fits in there. I turned the phone off because if you don't click and shut the screen off like that, then if you got music playing and it's in this bag, it moves a little bit, it'll zip right up. It moves a little bit and it'll skip the songs for you. So yeah, I try not to leave the screen active when I stick it in my phone. I kind of turn that off. Evie says on Amazon, and it'd be nice if she could post a link. I'm not sure if she can or not, but yeah, hey, Evie, if you go in on my channel, there's a section in there called Post. If you go in there, I got a post for today's live stream. You can make a comment there and put the Amazon link for Lisa, and then Lisa can go over there and see it and get the link that you're talking about. Anyways, hey, appreciate y'all being here, and if you like these live streams, you know, leave me a comment here and tell me, or in the future, tell me what you'd like to hear about, what you'd like to see. I'm going to try to do them right now for once a month. One more thing I want to tell you about the channel. I'm going to try to do the live streams once a month during the end of the month, okay, for now. I do live streams on my photography channel. They're very common for me to do. Setting up a complicated system like I did today, showing you a spreadsheet, showing you my iPhone takes a lot of practice, and I did practice on that, so I didn't have any snafus with that today. But I do want to address this channel, okay? I have made a decision about this channel, and I have another channel that I do drone photography on, okay, that I separated from my photography channel. I do not intend on monetizing this channel. I don't care about that anymore. My photography channel is monetized. I don't make enough money on those channels to worry about. My photography channel, and these are for the people that are up and coming, Brian, Evie, it's not all it's cracked up to be, okay? I know y'all got channels and stuff. Monetization is nice, okay? But don't chase the carrot. Don't worry about that, okay? What you need to do is make authentic videos about your life. And currently, I watch both of your channels, Evie and Brian, and both of you are doing exactly that. Let your channels grow naturally with people who are genuinely interested in what you're doing, okay? And I love to watch these channels. I love to watch yours, Evie, and Brian's, and I watch a bunch of other people that are authentic. and they may not have a lot of followers or subscribers. I don't care about that, okay? I just like their content. I like to hear what they got to say. You know, all these YouTube evangelists that are out there telling you, you can do this and do that, you need to do this and do that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, okay? Just make videos, okay? Talk about life stories, you know, different things. And you guys are doing great with your stories. I really enjoy listening to them. I'd like to hear more about Brian's escapades as a mailman. I'd like to hear about, because I'm sure he's got some mailman stories he could tell us, okay? I mean, the mailman had to have been chased by a dog at least once. You know, and how did he solve the problem the next time? Did he go where with begging strips in his pocket so the dog wouldn't chase him and bark? But yeah, so I am not going to monetize this channel. I will never do that. I do have a few videos on here for e-bike stuff that people have given me some things to test out, but I'm not really big on that stuff either. Like I said, and I'll tell you what I make on my photography channel. It's been monetized for over a year. I'm right at 2,000 subscribers. My videos over there only get like, you know, 100 views to 200 views. Every once in a while I'll have a good one that gets 700 or 800 views. But the money that's coming in is not big. The take for July on my photography channel is $52. Now, you only get paid if you rake in $100 or more. Otherwise, they roll it to the next month until you get $100. So back in May, I think I made $47. Okay, in May. In June, I only made $42. And this month, I made $52. I'm going to get a check on August 21st. It'll be for about $130, something like that, divided by 3 months. So it works out to about $40 a month. It's been like that for the last year and a half, $40 a month, okay? And you start looking at your videos that you're trying to create and stuff, and you think, geez, why do I even bother, you know? Do it for yourself. Do it because you enjoy creating. Do it because you enjoy vlogging. That's what I got to say about that. So don't worry, this channel will never be monetized, and hopefully you won't get bombarded with a bunch of ads when you're watching my videos. All right, listen, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will be live at the end of August again, and hope to see you all then. Okay, we'll see you guys later.